Is condensation a threat to my roof? The short answer is yes, condensation is a threat to your roof. It is possible for condensation to accumulate under the roof decking and cause issues for your roof. Heavy condensation can either create what seems to be a leak that eventually gets into your dwelling, or worse, it can lead to mold. If either of these issues are not addressed early on, the cost of replacing a roof becomes increasingly more expensive. So what is condensation in a roof? USGS. Gov explains condensation as, the air is full of water vapor, although most of the time we can't see it. Condensation is the process by which water vapor in the air is changed into liquid water. It's the opposite of evaporation. Water vapor begins to condensate when the air is cooled to its dew point. While air in general will have water vapor in it, the amount of water vapor that your home produces is even more. Between running water, cooking, etc., the water vapor in the air increases and then proceeds to travel up into your attic space. What will happen is the warm air in your home that travels up into your attic during the winter will be met with colder temperatures in the attic. Condensation will then begin to form on the bottom surface of the roof sheathing. Since roofs are now built with higher quality material, specifically the underlayments, it becomes harder for the water vapor to escape through the layers of the roof. The higher quality material is great, but it needs to be offset with the proper ventilation, so that moisture doesn't get trapped in your attic and start to condensate. Another way for this to happen is if a vent in the home, like a bathroom or dryer vent, directs the exhaust of air up to the roof and out a roof vent. Now, this can be a good thing because you need to have it venting to the outside of the home. But if the connection between the exhaust pipe and vent are not properly installed, condensation can build up at the vent and then run back down the exhaust pipe and back into the home. It might be tricky to distinguish between a leak and condensation until you get into the attic and closely inspect the area in question. If you have a leak on the inside of your home, you can follow the water stains in the attic to the source. But if there are no clearly visible signs of condensation, a closer inspection of the nails can help. On the bottom side of the roof deck, the nails that hold the roofing material in place will stick out past the roof decking. If the tips of the nails have rust all over them and it is prevalent across the roof, you either currently have a condensation issue or you did in the past. We have even seen situations where we couldn't get a clear look at the nails, but there were water drop marks all across the ductwork and insulation. The condensation would build up in the attic and drip off the nails onto the attic floor. So look at the dust on the ductwork or wood in the attic and see if there are signs of water drops. The most important way to safeguard against condensation affecting your roof is to have adequate attic ventilation. When your attic has vents at the eaves and ridge, it allows the air to circulate through the attic, drying out the attic, getting the water vapor before condensation accumulates in the wrong places. Here are a few ways to vent your roof and therefore protect against condensation. Gable vents. Some ventilation systems have intake and exhaust at the gable ends of the home. This will allow air to flow in one side and out the other. But this process is dependent on the wind blowing. If there is no wind, then there is no air moving in the attic. This can also leave corners of the attic with little to no airflow at all, allowing for moisture to build up or excessive heat, both of which can have a negative effect on your roof. Next would be eave to ridge. The eave to ridge vent system is the best for buffering the threat of condensation affecting your roof. In this method, the air will come into the attic along the eaves and exhaust out the top along the ridge with either a ridge vent, box vent or fan. This allows for maximum airflow across the entire deck of the roof. If you don't have eaves, you can have it vent from the gable ends up to the ridge, or you can install intake vents lower on the roof. Combining systems like this can be helpful, but if not done properly it can cause even more issues. There is a specific amount of square inches of intake and exhaust that you want on all the vents to ensure proper airflow. Without the right balance, it can produce a lack of airflow, causing the air to sit and condensate in all the wrong places.